been that long.
It really has,
I think early September at the earliest.
I guess that makes sense, yeah.
So, time flies, because time is meaningless, as we all know these days.
What is time?
But yeah, this is good to get back together. It's been a while, so yeah. How's everyone been? Just
I think the silence and vague gestures speaks.
No, I always ask that question, and then we get into these COVID conversations. So like, we'll just leave that on the table. We all just know.
There's a lot going on in the world in general too.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, collective sigh.
Yeah.
Is like sort of how it's going.
In my head, I'm like, oh man, I've already complained about this shit in our intros so much already. I'm gonna let someone else take the reins.
I know. Maybe I should just stop asking how's it going. Like, it's just not a great question anymore.
I feel like we're doing as well as we can.
Hell yeah.
We're trying our best.
We're trying our best.
We're hanging in there.
Yeah.
You know,
we're hanging in there and we're hanging out, which rules. So at least that's going on. I've had a very positive week, and I've sort of committed myself to just being stoked on stuff instead of worried about shit. So I've been just pure stoked this last week. So and I'm really happy to be capping off the week with some of this stuff.
Well, you brought over some fucking killer macarons, so that totally made my day.
Yeah, totally. I think I've mentioned it on here before, but yes, I've out of nowhere decided to start baking the hardest French cookie you can make, and I'm actually getting there. I'm kind of doing it now. So yeah,
can confirm.
Yeah, one of these days I'll start an Instagram, and y'all can check it out, post some pictures and stuff. But well, we're here for some chuckles, so let's get into it. As y'all know, you can hit us up on you can hit us up on Twitter at comingdownpod, or email us comingdownpod@gmail.com. We like to hear your answers to these hypothetical scenarios that we pose. And if you have any hypothetical scenarios or questions of your own, send them in, and we'll do them here on the show.
We would love that.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, let's get started. So here's one that I found. Well, so I found the premise kind of on Reddit, but I sort of jazzed it up a little bit. So this is what I ended up writing. Okay, so one day you go out to lunch with a new friend from work. You opt for the salad wrap since today is not a cheat day. Your coworker orders a burger. When the server asks what side they would like, they whisper, "Freedom fries." They say the words, "freedom fries." You are stunned. 2002 called and wants whatever this is back. You chuckle and ask why they use this laughable phrase, since they didn't seem like the kind of person to use it in the first place, let alone hang on to it for 20 years. They sheepishly say, "You wouldn't believe me, but I made a deal with a warlock. Every single time I order freedom fries, they are the best, most perfectly cooked freedom fries imaginable. Perfect, crispy outsides, warm and fluffy inside. The only catch is I have to say freedom fries when I order them, and anytime I say it. They're right. You don't believe them." When the order comes out, they look like regular fries to you, but with each bite, you can see the sheer ecstasy behind the eyes of your colleague. Curiosity gets the better of you, and you ask if you can meet this warlock. Your friend slides you a business card and whispers, "You didn't get this from me. Do you call the number?"
Ooh.
Now, this is slightly based on how much you like French fries, which I fucking love fries. They're one of God's greatest gifts to potato and mankind alike. And I like all versions. Waffle, curly, steak, like shoestring, wedges, like any version. They're all good to me, and they all have qualities that are excellent. So imagining I could get them all in perfect form every single time, it's pretty tempting.
Perfect fries are so much better than fucking mediocre fries. It's insane.
It is insane.
This was my question. Are freedom fries a specific kind of French fry? Or like a specific cut of French fry? Or was it just a thing that like propaganda put on all French fries?
Well, it was just...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
When I remembered it, it was... Yeah, they didn't want to say the word French because America were... A portion of American idiots were mad at France for some reason.
Yeah, this was back in
they're taking back the French fry.
So I think it was...
Yes, it was post 9/11.
I think they didn't want to go into Iraq with us.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Is that,
right.
that France was like, "Fuck you for going into Iraq," and
right?
So all the fucking America people were like, "Fucking can't call it French fries no more. It's freedom fries."
Yeah, freedom fries from here on out. Yeah, like yeah, which is, I mean, just the stupidest thing ever.
Yeah.
Which that's why it's like it's a really hard thing to choke out, especially like 20 years later.
It's fucked.
Okay, that was my main question. Was like, I don't know if freedom fries mean like a classic, like, because are they different from like, do waffle fries? Can
you order waffle freedom fries?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I would say anytime you're ordering fries, well, yes, anytime you're ordering fries, you must say freedom fries.
Can I get your waffle cut freedom fries?
Exactly, yeah.
So my other thing I was wondering is, can you try one of your friends' freedom fries and verify that they're awesome, or do they only taste that well to them?
Exactly. So when they came out on the plate, they just looked like whatever.
If you ate one, you'd be like, these are fine.
Yeah, just whatever fuck you fries, and like they were fine to you, but like to them, they're the greatest thing like ever. And you know, as you said, a perfect fry is just like, oh man,
dude,
when it's just, you know, the perfect even heat level, you know, just like doesn't burn your mouth, but it's just warm and fluffy on the inside, perfect crispy outside, you know, it's just been made to utter perfection, and dip it in whatever you want, you know, there's a million dips that are good.
Well, if they're perfect,
man,
I'll eat a
someone
fry
needs to
with
sponsor
no
us for
dip
French
if
fries.
it's perfect. Yeah. Like, if a fry is just, like, completely perfectly done, I'll just eat it straight a lot of the time.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just
We
oil
don't even
and
need-
salt
yeah.
Yeah,
is
I
all
mean,
you
like,
need.
I'll just I will burn my mouth with hot fries, you know,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
and like in my opinion, fries are meant to be eaten in the car on the way
Yeah.
home. Like,
Yeah.
if you still have fries when you get home, they're probably going to be cold, you know, or at least.
Well,
not
at least
as
drive
hot.
through. Yeah, like if
Yeah,
you're
drive
doing
through
the
fries, you eat
for
them on the
sure.
way home, or
Yeah.
at least most of them. I like, you know, going to a pub or whatever,
yeah.
or a brew pub, and then you get your side of fries with the burger, and they always come out nice and
Yep.
steamy hot, and then
I eat
you
my
know,
fries first and then my burger.
Yeah, you eat at least 75% of the fries
Exactly.
before you even take the first bite of the burger.
Yep.
That's how I usually do it.
That's the move.
Yeah. In fact, I would eat fries for a meal if it didn't feel sort of like an insane thing to do.
Well, that's why poutine was invented, so that you have other things with your fries, so it resembles a meal.
Routine.
Yep. Like, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like we'll fake this. We'll pretend that this is actually just dinner now.
Yep.
Yeah.
We've added cheese.
Or breakfast, honestly.
gravy.
I don't
Yeah.
think.
Gravy.
Bacon.
Yeah. So man, it's really hard to admit that I would probably take this deal, but I think I do it. And then I just have to grin and bear it and whisper it to all my servers and just, you know.
I mean, is the question... Sorry to interrupt. Is the question that would you take this same deal, or is this the only gift this warlock has?
So actually, I did phrase the
Interesting.
question of, do you call the number?
Because I've got some riffs on this too.
Is he just
Yeah.
like a benevolent fry magic only?
Yeah. Are there other phrases, like stupid phrases that I can
weirdly
say?
specifically
For other
patriotic, circa 2001 warlock?
Well, I think we could throw a wrinkle into this of take whatever your favorite food is, and you could make it so that it comes out perfect every time you get it, but you have to call it something really stupid and embarrassing. You know, that's kind of the thrust of it, you know?
If you want the best version in the world, you can have it, but you have to say Obama on me. But it'll be amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, or like, yeah, you get perfect wings every time, but you have to call them MAGA wings for like some unknown reason.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Jesus. I mean, I think I'd at least call him.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely call the number,
Out
but
of
then do you like
sheer-
take the deal? Do you take the deal?
I think it depends.
Let's even just start with the Freedom Fry deal.
So, yes, I fucking call him because it's a fucking warlock.
Yeah, okay.
It's a good
So that's
found
kind of
out
a dumb
That
question.
warlocks exist, and I'm gonna be like, yo, dude, is this the only deal that you offer? Because, like,
Or alternatively, your coworker is in a cult.
be.
Alternatively, this is some weird hijinks.
well, yeah, I mean, like, I could see this just being like some Scientology shit or whatever. you know,
Exactly.
but-
Yeah, because you don't necessarily know who you're calling a warlock. He
Yeah.
said that, but you can't verify that those fries aren't regular
Exactly.
fries. So
But I'm definitely going with this guy to that person's house just to find out what the fuck's going on. Like, are they just fucking freebasing, or like, what's the deal? You know?
Yeah.
Freebasing fries. 'Cause even when you do that, they come out perfect.
So I think I would call
Fry basing.
I think I would call this warlock, but my first question would probably be just the way this was worded. When you strike a deal with someone who's going to bestow something like mystical, magical, otherworldly, something that you couldn't achieve in like our normal plane, there's usually like
There's a catch.
It's always a
it's like
monkey's
it's
paw.
a deal.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just like I mean, if you're striking a deal, if I make a deal with you, it's usually like, oh, I'll clean out the cat box if you do the dishes. So it's like deal,
Right.
you know. So
Right.
it's like
Demonic.
So why would this warlock ever want to just like hand out free freedom fry magic just to randos who call like
I don't
a
know.
number on
Maybe-
a business card?
Maybe he's a member of the Tea Party.
Yeah.
He's just trying to like.
But I definitely would.
bring
My
it
first
back.
question
Yeah.
would be like, what is this in exchange for? Like, do I pay in money? Do I pay in something much greater?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, what's the situation here?
Yeah, and like, because if we're dealing with like a D&D warlock, like they get all of their magic from dealing with demons. So like,
Right.
you're correct. That is a
Yeah,
bargain.
it
that
might
is
be
going
shifty,
to,
too.
like,
Yeah, this is
end
some
up
fey shit.
biting you in the ass.
So if you ask, the warlock just says, "You're on a need to know basis, and you don't need to know." That's for me. Don't worry about why I'm handing out this deal. You know, it's
So then, no.
classified. It's classified.
So no, I don't take the deal because I don't fuck around
You
with
don't take the
warlocks.
deal and just live with
I
your like
definitely don't.
risking your fries to be like anywhere from
So,
bad to medium to good.
Sometimes you get good
Sometimes
fries,
you get
though.
perfect fries.
And like if
In
you're
fact,
if
often.
you're eating them on the way home, then like they might be fine. But like I don't fuck around with warlocks. And I definitely don't fuck around with warlocks that have fucking business cards, you guys.
Yeah.
So
Demon in a suit.
I'm also
Three
not taking-
demons in a
right.
trench coat.
There it is. We got that. So I'm not taking the deal either, but I am definitely calling this guy and asking him if I can be his fucking apprentice because like
Reasonable.
this is a career path that I want to take. You know?
Are you gonna become a franchisee somewhere?
Absolutely.
Start.
I want to be like, what's the name of your demon patron? All right, like.
Oh, I was even
I'm cool
thinking
with
creating like a restaurant franchise, and you just start freedom fries warlocking people, and then they all come to your restaurant.
That is also
because like
unacceptable.
your
Right.
shit's always good, but you don't tell them it works everywhere. You just say it works here.
Well, so you call him.
It's the needful things of fry restaurant.
and then you can just like cut up raw potatoes and start serving them to people, and they're
Right.
like, "These are amazing," you know?
Right. So you call him, and he says, "Yeah, like you can be my apprentice, but here's the thing." You have to sign up 5 people, and if they sign up 5 people,
Yes.
and then if they each sign up 5 people, then
Warlock-
then that's how
magic
you'll
triangle,
yeah.
Marketing is just
scheme.
MLM.
yeah.
Well, of course it is. I mean, it's a demonic bargain. Like
Multi-level
clearly,
magic
it's,
game.
it's
Yeah.
you gotta slap it.
Yes.
Yes, there we go.
We got there.
All right, so that's 2 no's. What do you think, Shelby?
I'm calling.
You're definitely I
Oh
mean,
yeah, we are all calling.
that was a
Oh,
stupid question to
God.
ask if you're calling or not. Like you're
calling
calling.
a warlock.
I don't think I'm taking the deal. It's a hard one though, because you know I love food.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I love me some food. And I was trying to think of a food that like I like enough that if it was perfect every time, I'd be like, I can give my soul away. Like
Yeah.
I can gamble that. I
Soup
can make
dumplings.
that gamble. Dumplings
Ooh.
of any kind.
Yeah.
But also, I've never had a dumpling so bad that
Oh,
I regretted
See,
ordering
this is
it.
the thing: is I like food a lot already. So
Right. So I
Right.
don't think I'm taking the Warlock fry deal, but you know, if he has a strong sales pitch, I'm pretty close to being talked into it. Like,
Well, you just have to come to the seminar. It's free.
Exactly. I'm way closer to signing this deal than I would be to like a timeshare. You know, like that's like on the scale of what I could be convinced of. This is like we're pretty close to convincing me.
Well, you've got his number now, so like,
I've got his number, so
Right.
maybe I'll get some really shit ass fries one day, and I'll be like, "Fuck this," and I'll call him and be like, "All right."
Yeah, like never again, Five Guys or whatever. I don't know.
exactly.
They actually always pull it off.
what do you save the warlock's number as in your phone? Just warlock?
You know, I would save it as Warlock because this is an unrelated story.
And like, what if like your significant other is like trying to find like friend's number or to call them at some point, and he's like, Who's Warlock?
I'd save it as locksmith. You know what I mean?
That's smart. I have Ross saved in my phone as Wormtongue.
Oh, so this would be
from an.
This would not be new to your
I
phone.
have nicknames in my phone
Oh,
because
yeah.
I
Me
don't
too.
remember why, but on New Year's Eve he made a joke. I called him Wormtongue. Neither of us can remember because we were drunk. And he called me like 2 weeks later, and it came up on my phone as Wormtongue, and I was like, "Who the fuck's Wormtongue? Who is this?" And I answered, and it was Ross, and I kept it because it's funny.
That is funny.
So
I'm amazed you answered it. I feel like I put Wormtongue in for a real reason, and that reason's to not answer that call.
I had like
right?
a vague memory of doing it, but
Yeah.
like couldn't remember who. I also have like I've got a couple people with like funky nicknames in my phone, so I feel
Yeah.
like Warlock would go unnoticed by anyone. Going through
Your
it.
Matt is still in my phone as a paragon of perfect design. So,
Perfect.
and that's from
amazing.
that's from 4 years ago. So I haven't changed that
I
one.
don't remember. He's in mine as Matt. Fucking last name. So fucking is the middle name.
Nice.
This tracks.
Matt
yeah.
fucking Warlock.
Yeah. I have
What is
Kyle.
now?
I have a Kyle in my phone, and then I have Kyle 2, The Reckoning of Kyle. I'm not kidding.
That's
That's
amazing.
They
awesome.
were both coworkers.
Is there any food that you would take a shitty deal on, that you want to ensure that it's the best version of it every single time? Meaning, it could either be your favorite thing, or it's something that's really good, but you always kind of roll the dice on it, you know? Like, I've had this bad a few times, and like, I just want to make sure it's like the best.
Well, part of the issue for me is that I enjoy pretty much everything. Like, there is not a whole lot of foods in the world that I don't like, and I like a lot of variety. So to pick one thing that's going to be perfect every time, like, how fucking often am I even going to be eating
How
that,
broad
you know?
can it be? Can I pick burritos?
Oh shit! I thought that at the same time you started.
Because if I could
yeah, it could
guarantee
be.
that every burrito I ever order
Was
Yeah.
just like
dank as fuck,
just orgasmic and good and perfect. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
like-
yes, you can pick that.
That's a pretty legit choice.
what?
I
Yeah,
gotta
what's
admit.
the phrase I gotta say? How do I gotta order this burrito?
Yeah. See, I'd almost like be tempted to pick tomato, because a good tomato is actually quite good, but I just hate a bad tomato so much I just never order tomato on anything.
That's fair.
So like then
Yeah,
I can
but
just make
you
sure I
never
get good
order
tomato.
on things. So would you have to specify like I'd like a burger, but I need it to have
Deadly
like,
nightshade slices.
like
Right, but it's gotta be
MAGA
something
tomato
stupid.
on
Yeah,
it.
yeah, totally.
And they're like, yeah, it comes with tomato, and you're like, okay, but
Great. But yeah.
you heard me order it, right?
yeah, yeah, you heard what I called it, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's true. That would be even more awkward, so maybe I don't take
You're
that
ordering
deal.
on DoorDash,
Now-
and it's like you can't specify MAGA tomato on your fucking shit.
Yeah, I guess you wouldn't be able to get freedom fries on DoorDash because you gotta say it.
I could see saying steak. You know, like you get a perfect steak every time.
Perfect steak every time. See,
Fuck me.
yeah. See another one, like an eggplant parmesan.
I was thinking that
'Cause,
too.
like,
Because like a bad one is so bad.
Bad one is inedible, but
Yeah.
a good one's really
Lit.
quite good.
Yeah,
and I
like,
would
when
eat
it's
it
nice
far more
and
often.
Got a nice crust on it.
Yeah,
Like, oh,
but it's something I never order because I'm not gonna risk getting a bad one because they're just awful.
literally inedible. It's
Yeah.
like fucking soggy wood.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, or tire rubber or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awful. So
Bad news.
All right, well, I'm still taking the deal.
I'd pick cantaloupe
Ooh, a perfect cantaloupe's always
every
just like
time.
Bring
Yeah.
the heat.
And you don't know till you cut into it.
Yeah.
You've got to
That's
kind of
risky.
guess, and there's all kinds of like, oh, if it sounds hollow,
you gotta
if
call
it
it.
smells good.
You could
But it's
even
a
just expand that
gamble
to
either
melon
way.
as far as I'm concerned, you know?
like or like
Yeah.
fruit in general. Like every time you bit into a fruit, it was like
If it was
perfect.
fruit at
If it was
large.
just fruit at large, now that's got fucking legs
It's
on it.
now like
Yeah.
because sometimes you get strawberries from the store and they look good and they taste like nothing. Like there's no
almost always,
sweetness.
unless they're wild strawberries.
Yeah, exactly. So like if every grocery store strawberry I ever got tasted like fresh strawberry that I grew out of my yard, I'd be like,
But then you gotta say something like really awful to the cashier every
yeah,
time.
you gotta be like a huge bitch, like the cost is you have to call. You need to be
Fuck you,
verbally
fruit.
abusive to someone in the store.
Well, now if I have to hurt other people, I'm out. But if I
Yeah.
just have to embarrass myself,
Well, yeah,
like,
it's debasing yourself is the deal,
yeah,
right? So-
yeah, it is. It's just like something so embarrassing where you're just
Yeah.
like, ugh.
Maybe
really,
you have
like,
to like.
Good point.
Yeah.
I'm a little lad who likes berries and cream.
Exactly. You have to do the berries and cream dance as you go through the checkout line to
Yep.
get your produce.
Yep.
But if it counted
perfectly
for
right.
all fruit,
Yeah.
I think
If you had to tell the cashier that you're going to take these home and rub them on your nips.
Just gonna rub these on my nip.
Yep.
Yeah. You just gotta. What if it was? You just have to drop something like uncomfortable.
Yeah, something that embarrasses
To-
you more than
yeah.
anyone else
Yeah.
around. Yeah, I mean, but yeah, fruit at large, like, that
Fuck.
would be amazing.
Yes.
That would be I'd take that deal. If
right.
every fruit I ever had was
sounds real
the
good.
perfect fruit, I'd be like, bet.
Yeah.
Right?
Take my soul.
Yeah.
Because a good mango is so good.
Well,
man.
that is funny, though, because I'm taking the deal. I like fries. But see, fries are in, like, top 3 or 4 of all-time foods for me. So, like, if I could just guarantee they're perfect every time,
Totally.
then I'm eating a lot more fries to my own to my own poor health, I guess, or whatever. Yeah. See, that's like the real monkey's paw is like 4 years later, my cholesterol or my blood pressure's too high and I can no longer eat like salty fries, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
And then it's just like, well, all right.
If the warlock was able to get me to
I guess that
actually
solved that.
enjoy a salad, I would take that deal. Like if the warlock was like, I mean, it'll cost you your soul, but I can make you actually enjoy eating salad. I'd be
Yeah.
like,
right?
You could just eat a bowl of kale, but it's going to taste like
gonna
just
taste
the
good?
best thing
Oh,
you've ever
God.
eaten.
I'm just
that
gonna
would
be
be
like,
rad.
even-
I'd totally take that deal.
Yeah,
I'd take that deal.
exactly. If I could eat like a rabbit and like it would taste like steak,
But you feel like you're eating pizza and wings
Yeah.
and steak and
Yeah.
burgers and stuff.
I
Yeah.
would take that deal.
God, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Damn. Come on, warlocks. Let's figure it out. Hit me up.
Warlocks of the world.
If anyone listening has secret
Yeah, if any
magical
listeners
abilities-
are warlocks,
Yeah, coming down pod at
coming
Twitter.
down, coming down podcast at gmail.com.
Yo, if you've got a monkey's paw that works, just hit us up.
Yeah, yeah. Turns out we'll
Turns out
probably
we've
do
got-
it.
We've got pretty little to lose. Yeah.
Pretty low standards when it comes to that sort of thing.
Yeah.
All right, dope. Okay, so this one I also found on Reddit, but I also sort of changed it around because I didn't. The options weren't as cohesive, so.
Okay.
But it did get me thinking. I thought this was actually kind of interesting. So the way I worded it is, what critical function, and this isn't even actually correct wording, but what critical function would you get rid of if you could? So the first option is sleep. You no longer need to sleep at all. You can if you want, but it's not necessary for survival, and you're always at a medium level of awake with a medium level of energy. The other one is food and water. So you no longer need to eat food or water to survive. You can eat if you want to, but it's not critical, and you'll always maintain a reasonably healthy body and weight, regardless of how much or little you eat. Aging, meaning you no longer age due to cell breakdown, and dying of old age is virtually out of the question, and your body will remain in relative health due, like, sort of where you are now, but you're still vulnerable to anything else that could kill you. So disease, cancer, and things that affect your body, cholesterol, smoking, blood pressure, these are all things that could still take you out. You just won't do the cell breakdown thing. Right. And then the last one, and this is kind of weird because this isn't like a body function, but I think it is like critical for survival, is money. You never need to worry about money again. You receive a decent but modest UBI. You don't have to work, but you can make money on top of that if you would like additional. So, and to clarify that even a little more, that's just sort of like comfort plus a little is like all your bills will be paid. You don't have to work if you don't want to. You'll have enough to like take a vacation once a year. Everything's sort of taken care of for you. Like, don't really have to worry about anything, but you're not billionaire rich.
Sure, comfortable middle class in a European socialist country.
Sure, totally. So, yeah, what do you guys think? Which would you pick? I mean, I guess before this, Shelby thinks that we're all just picking the money.
That's what I'm picking. I mean,
Of those
she's not
four
wrong.
options, that's what I'm picking.
Yeah, I think it's the obvious out of the four.
We
for
live in
me,
a
at
capitalist society. I'm picking money. I would like to not have to work. That sounds great.
least. All of those other things seem like fine things to deal with if all of my monetary like concerns are taken care of, and especially since I do already deal with all those things. So it'd basically be like me now, but like money's not a problem, like,
Also,
that's just, like,
8 hours,
perfect.
8+ hours of your day aren't spent, like,
yeah, be great.
at work.
Yeah.
Like, even those of us that work from home, like...
Or they could be, and then maybe you get to, I don't know, buy a new car, or, like, whatever the fuck. Yeah, go on
Right.
a nicer vacation. Go on a second one. I don't know, whatever.
Right.
You can get a part-time job that you like.
Sure.
It's just, like, fuck offable, because, like, you don't
Yeah.
need to worry about, like, how do I make enough money to pay rent?
Right.
Because that's taken care of already.
No, I honestly think that if, and I don't want to get too political here, but like, I felt like, during the pandemic when we were in lockdown and like, I had some fucking unemployment money coming in plus the fucking pandemic stimulus. Like, I was like, oh shit! Like, if I could actually go somewhere and do something, this would be amazing.
This is what
Like,
it feels like.
Yeah.
To just kind of like
it's
have
like I'm
shit taken care
retired,
of.
but like
Yeah.
my body's not falling apart, you know? And I'm just like, fuck, man. Like, if we just fucking took away everything but $1 billion from every billionaire, like everyone in the world could do that. Like,
Yeah.
Yep.
we'd be good, you know? I'm like, fucking sorry if my math is sketchy on that. Like, I'm sure, please correct us. Hit us up at Come Down Pod
Yeah.
if my math is bad there.
Yeah.
But,
We're
I'm
Watson
just saying-
economists. We'd love to hear from you.
right? And, like, you know,
Yeah.
like, fucking at me, because like I've got some arguments for if you like
But I-
think that like if everyone had UBI that the world would somehow collapse. But like, I honestly think that like that would fucking be so freeing for everyone if we just had
Yeah.
all of our needs met and we could just do what we want.
Yeah, I mean, I know exactly what you mean. When I was thinking about this question, the reason money stood out to me is because I thought about what it was like in like March through May of 2020 when I wasn't working.
Yeah.
I sure as shit slept a lot better.
Exactly.
Like my sleep schedule was a lot better. I was drinking a lot because it's 2020, but we,
Well,
we
it was a
you know,
pandemic.
it was
I mean,
a pandemic.
you know.
If you're pursuing
But I
hobbies
was
that you
pursuing
didn't
hobbies.
have as much time for
Yeah.
otherwise, like baking bread and shit like
Yeah,
that.
like
Got
I
to be
learned to
creative.
bake. I got some hobbies back. Like I actually felt like I lived a little bit of a healthier lifestyle in some ways because you know I was able to go on walks with Matt every day because when I was working I wasn't able to do that because I was out of the house by the time they were doing things, and so not having to worry about spending my time working for somebody else was kind of the main appeal
Yeah.
for money,
Yeah.
you know?
Exactly. Being able, having your time be your own and being able to choose if you want to do anything for money, well, like you choose what that is. You
Right.
know?
Right.
Like can I go be a barista for 20 hours a week? That sounds fun. Like,
There are all sorts of jobs that if I didn't have to worry about not making enough doing them,
Yeah.
I would do
Yeah.
like forever because it's like
Yeah.
enjoyable.
I'd have a
but like
part-time
you
job in a
usually get
bookstore.
minimum wage.
Like,
Yeah.
Yes,
fucking hell,
absolutely.
you know?
I had always said, you know, if money wasn't an issue when I was working for McMinimans, I was like, I could just be a gardener, like a gardener at Edgefield
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
seasonally.
But then, like,
That's the
so
dream.
I'll make an argument for the sleep one though, because then that frees up 7 to 10 hours of your day to also
That's
do those
true.
things.
So if money wasn't on this list, sleep hands down for me.
Yeah.
Like,
No question.
100%. Yeah, because I mean, I already have huge issues with sleep. So
Oh, right.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
That like
Right.
fix a lot of shit for you.
yeah, absolutely. Like that would just, oh my god, it would be such a blessing if I just never had to worry about sleep again.
Yeah.
And I like eating and drinking, so like whatever, you know, like that's not a burden for me.
Yeah, I mean, I do like the idea of that I wouldn't have to watch what I eat because I do like eating and drinking a little too much.
That's fair, but if you didn't have to sleep, if I didn't have to sleep, then I could exercise. Like,
Right.
you know, I'd have 8 more hours in the day to fuck with.
I guess that's
you
a
know?
great point too. Yeah.
Fucking who am I kidding? I don't sleep 8 hours, but like, you know, I'm still like trying to sleep for most of that time.
Mm-hmm. No, and for me personally, I make a little bit of an argument for aging because I don't necessarily have a fear of death, but I do have a fear of being old.
yeah.
Like, and just everything that comes with that. So if I could just know that I'm like, as long as I don't get hit by buses and things like that and just sort of be relatively healthy, then like I can stretch this out for a while, you know?
But
And I know technically you can still get cancer, but like if cells aren't degenerating, like then they're like the likelihood feels like maybe it goes down a little bit anyway.
Like, I
for,
think
shit
you'll
like that.
eventually get cancer just on a long enough timeline, but, like,
Maybe.
Probably.
you kind of better hope that you do because
their
on a
cells
long
are still
enough
regenerating,
timeline,
so, like,
if
they
you're
could still, like-
immortal, the chances that you get trapped somewhere and can't move,
Right.
like, eventually...
But this isn't immortality.
It is effectively,
You'd
though.
suffocate.
Sure,
or drown
but I'm
or
just
whatever.
saying if you like got your arm pinned or like whatever in like a place and like you had plenty
Right.
of air and like
Yeah, but
But you'd still die
starve.
of
Oh, that's
starvation.
right. I forgot.
You
It's
still
just
die
old
from
age.
like
Okay,
things
yeah.
that kill you.
Never
You
mind.
just don't age.
sorry,
Yeah.
my immortality argument is moot here.
It's not immortality. It's
No, because immortality is a
even-
little scary. Like, that's, like,
Immortality.
a
It
little
spooks me,
terrifying.
yeah.
Like, part of me likes it, and then it's like, actually...
Yeah.
No, I'm not
kinda
crazy
final,
about getting
too.
old either. But I figure if money's not a problem, then like I'll be able to afford decent enough health care. And
Sure.
if I don't have to sleep, then like. Fuck, that's a whole bunch of my health problems taken care of right there.
Sure, yeah.
So, like,
Okay, so yeah, we'll
those
take,
are my two.
y'all are probably right. The money one, and I hesitated putting the money one on there because it maybe is a little obvious, and we try and avoid money questions on here. But I thought it was interesting because it's not just like
What would you
would
do?
you eat slugs forever for $1 million?
Well,
You know,
exactly.
it's like because that's I don't know.
You know, like how many people would you kill for a bill? No,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, so if we take that one out, so if it's just option 1, 2, or 3, sleep, food and water, or aging. Ah, man, see, then it is tough.
Then it gets tricky.
Yeah.
for
Oh,
sure.
it isn't for me at all.
Really? What are you on?
100%
Still?
hands down food and
Yeah.
water.
Just take that out of the equation.
Well, because, yeah, like, I already know, I mean, I don't have to, like, worry about, like, weight problems like a lot of people do, but that doesn't mean that, like, me eating garbage food isn't still, like, unhealthy for me, you know?
Right.
Just because I don't gain weight doesn't mean it's not bad, so, like, that is a concern. And I also do sometimes struggle with, like, if nothing sounds good to eat, I'll just, like, not eat, or like sometimes it's like if nothing sounds good, it's really hard to get myself to eat, or like, yeah, especially, and that's what makes it hard to like eat healthy a lot of the time, because it's like, oh, a salad doesn't sound good, guess like we're not eating, and it's like, well, that's not good either. Like,
Right.
you weigh like 110 pounds, like you can't just not eat. Like,
yeah.
it's just not an option, and it like is something that I deal with a lot, and it's like really fucking annoying. So it's like, especially the fact that I'm still allowed to, so it's like, yeah, but I also fucking love burritos, so it's like, yeah, I still eat as many burritos as I want,
Yeah.
when I want, but yeah, if I wake up one day and I'm just like, I'm not feeling food today, it's like, not a big deal, and I can stop being guilty about how I don't drink enough fucking water, like,
Right?
dude,
Yeah.
oh my god, like,
Tell you what,
it's constantly plaguing me.
if I've got that Warlock's business card, I might take food and drink.
Yeah.
Oh, see, that's good, that's good.
Yeah, I really don't know what to pick if I was between these three, but I guess I have to find an answer. So maybe, gosh, yeah, maybe I do food and drink too, because I just love food, and if I just
You also struggle kind of with what I do too, of just like if nothing sounds good.
I do.
Like, and especially if you're already like hangry, and it's just like, man, I hate everything about this right now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And like, I don't want to cook food because like nothing sounds good. It's
Yeah.
like with this, it's like, cool, we're not cooking.
Yeah, if
we
you've
don't gotta
kind of
do
gone
anything.
past the point of where you're like so hungry that now you're just not hungry, but you're just like mad about
But you
everything
feel like
and
shit
like
because you haven't eaten in
Yeah,
like a
totally.
while. Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah. And then it's just guilt-free burgers and burritos and pizza for the rest of my life. So that's pretty sweet.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It's like my
Sounds pretty good.
Of the remaining three, I'm with Matt. I would choose
Yeah.
sleep. And the next closest one for me is probably aging.
Yeah.
Because the food I like cooking, and I don't feel like I have enough issues with food and drink to. I also
Sure.
don't. I get bothered by trying to eat when I don't feel hungry. So for me, if I'm never going to feel hungry, like I would worry I would stop taking as much pleasure in something that I enjoy really a lot right now.
Interesting.
And so I think I'd probably choose sleep.
Yeah.
Get the full 24 hours.
Right.
That would be my
Right?
second
Yeah.
for sure. I think.
I just think you start running into no, and like I think that's a great answer and probably pretty reasonable, but like you run into that thing of like now you're living 2 lifetimes And then, like, that's a long time to be on this planet, and, like, do you start kind of getting a little fucking
You'd probably get weird.
about it, you know?
Yeah. But I'm okay with that, you know?
Yeah.
As long as you're social enough, like, having all that time to yourself will be fine, you know?
Well, it
Yeah.
also says you can still sleep if you want to.
Right.
Oh,
So,
no.
like,
If you want to dream, like if that's like
Yeah.
if you're bummed
Take a
out
nap
that you're
every
If in
missing
the
it,
middle of the
yeah.
day I had nothing else to do and I felt like being like, maybe I'll go lay down and see if I can.
But would you
nap.
feel
Just-
tired?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, would
Curl
you
up in a
feel
sunbeam,
tired?
yeah.
Right,
Or
not
would you
really.
just lay there and be like, well, this is boring?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you don't have to sleep, like, why would you just lay there? You know?
Totally.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it says you can sleep whenever you want to.
That's kind of how I envision it.
Holy shit, if I could just do that.
Oh,
Right, just like-
that,
just
you
like
just
a
do it on
switch?
purpose?
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
that's cool.
Yeah, just flip it on and off.
I'm gonna sleep now.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Oh.
That would be super nice. Because, yeah, I struggle with, like, trying to get to bed sometimes.
Yeah.
Ugh, yeah. It's definitely part of why I drink.
No, so that's the thing, too, with aging. I think the reason that I don't pick that one is, like, most of the stuff that I think, like, would kill me is, like, still on the table anyway.
Right.
Like, yeah, like, I'm
But
still...
if you just hold up, if you're just like,
Yeah.
I just don't do anything.
But so A, yeah, that. But then B, I've had to deal my entire life with people being like, "Oh, you'll be lucky that you look like you're 14 when you're older," and
yeah.
like, and then like you'll look younger than everyone else, and you'll love it. And people have been telling me this my whole life, and they're like, "You'll love someday how you look like a teenager," and like it's fucking obnoxious, and I have always like hated dealing with it. So part of me is just like, oh, so I'm just gonna plague myself with that for the rest of my life, like.
Yeah.
You're like,
Or like,
yeah.
and even more, and it's just like, no, fuck it. Like, make me look old. I don't know.
Right.
Like, maybe
Getting
someday
carded at
I get
shows
to
when
not
you're
have.
75.
Well, and just the snide comments of just like, oh yeah, you look like a teenager, so I'm definitely gonna card you. It's like, cool, my fucking ID's in my hand, handing it to
Yeah,
you. So
right.
like, why are we talking about it?
Well,
you
and
know?
like I'm ready. I want to be there with you on, because like this is coming. Like someone's gonna be like, "I'm sorry, I think this is fake." Because like,
Oh, yeah, right.
how
This
can
says
you
you're
look like a
75.
teenager when
Yeah.
you're in your 30s?
Right.
You know, like this
Yeah.
is impossible. And it's like,
Yeah.
I assure you, this is a state issued ID.
right.
What's
Well,
our
it was
next
even
move
worse
here,
with
you
my
know?
last ID because the like shiny, not watermark, I guess, but like the shiny mark.
hologram.
Thank you. Yeah, like the hologram that they put on it. That was like it was like said Oregon or whatever.
Yeah.
The O of one of the repeating ones covered the last digit of my birth year.
Fuck.
So when you looked at it, if you looked at it at an angle and saw the hologram, you understood what was going on. But if you looked at it head on, because it had the hologrammy thing on it, it like just made it look discolored. So it looked like I altered the like number on it. So like I already look young, and then I'm giving people this, and yeah, they'd like look at it like like squinty eyed, and then they'd like fucking like
Fuck's sake.
like shake it back and forth and
Tilt
stuff,
it
and
in
then
the light.
they'd like
Yeah.
squinty eyed at me and like try to figure out like, are you just like what's your address? Like fucking come on.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah,
That is brutal.
yeah. I'm glad that that's no longer. a
I
problem.
recently had the first time where, so I'm used to just pulling my ID out. You know, a lot of places just card because they have to, so they just ask everyone.
Right.
But I was at the grocery store not long ago, maybe 6 or 9 months ago, and was buying some beer. Pulled my ID out. The cashier just like didn't pay attention at all, and I see her ringing up the beer. I was like, "Did you need to check this?" And she looks up, looks at me, laughs, and goes, "No." So that's the day that you know you look a little old. It's like, damn. All right.
I didn't mean to laugh so loud on that.
No, I mean it's funny. Like it's like
But when
ooh.
you remember what it would mean, otherwise, it's like I think it's okay that you don't look 20. You know?
Yeah,
Like,
no, it, like
or
it is
under,
fine.
or like a teenager.
But it's like the
literally.
first time that someone's just like refused the idea. Usually they're like, "Oh yeah, thanks for having that out," or like, "Sure, they check it," or whatever. But she was just like, "I'd rather not." Like, okay.
Oh, sweetie.
I I think we're good.
Yeah, we all know what's going on here. All right, well, shit.
I tell you what, when that day arrived for me, I was just like, oh, fucking hallelujah.
Yeah,
Like,
we've arrived.
fucking smooth sailing from here on out.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's and like now when I'm in like the U-check line at the supermarket and like I'm ringing up beer and it's like, please wait for age verification, and like someone just swoops in and is like, bye. I'm just like, yep.
Thank you. Yeah, totally. No, that's super nice. All right, well, let's do one more, and then we'll get out of here. All right, question 3. We're gonna find out how conspiracy-minded y'all are. We'll find out some uncomfortable shit about everyone here. So this is also what I found on Reddit, but I sort of changed it around a little bit. Basically, what thing that has never been proven, but you just know to be true, in your heart of hearts, you know it's true, would you expose to the world if you could get the facts and actually expose them? Because there's a lot of things that it's just like, I know that that's like what's happened, but nothing has been said about it, or we can't like prove it. It's all hidden files, classified, whatever.
Birds
secrets
aren't real. Like
right, exactly. Yes. Yeah, I just know. There's no way they can be real. I mean, I don't even know what the ones I eat are. I guess those are just dinosaurs. So
exactly.
yeah. Dinosaurs still exist, but birds aren't real.
Just small dinosaurs. Yeah.
So what do you think?
So I had a little bit of a trouble with this one, just like settling on something, and I don't know if this fully counts because, like, I guess I don't specifically know the answer, but like if I had the facts to like show the world like what it was, I want to expose the fucking Zodiac killer.
Yes.
Of just
Nice.
like either confirming the guy that I want to say that it came up kind of recently where they like think maybe they know.
I think
like,
they
the guy,
figured it out.
but it's just like, but I want like the irrefutable facts, and like
Right.
let's even say that they hadn't done that yet, because I actually wasn't positive if they like had a lead, but like let's say like I'm going with that lead, but they didn't know yet.
Right.
I would also want to expose it because like, you know, there are all of those like puzzles and stuff like surrounding it.
Right.
Like, I kind of want to convince people that like I figured it out because I solved the puzzles. But if I have the like key, then I can kind of like work backwards and be like, oh well, this is how you solve it.
Okay.
And then I get credit for being the code breaker on the Zodiac case,
okay.
which like isn't necessarily like a path I'm trying to go in
Right.
my life, but like it would feel kind of cool to be like I was the person. Maybe I get a book deal off of it that's like total fucking written by a ghostwriter and total bullshit. But like might set me up for like I don't know, something okay. Like maybe I do some talk shows, it'll be all right. And then the Zodiac killer gets caught, which should happen anyway. So the only catch is like I don't necessarily know it in my hardest of hearts.
Right.
Who it is, but
Right.
if I did know,
If
and
you
I
did
know in
know,
my
yeah.
hardest of hearts that there was a killer for
Yes.
sure. So
That's
if
true.
if I have the facts to unveil that,
Right.
that's what I'd want to do. But I want to hear what you guys all have to say because I think you have maybe some more convictions about certain things and know them to be true.
Right, so like one that I think is pretty clear is like I fucking know that the government had JFK killed, right?
That was one for me too when I was thinking
Like,
about
I
stuff.
wondered if we were gonna get some fucking spicy shit.
like
going here.
100%, right? But like we'll never find out what actually happened. But it was not one fucking guy from the grassy knoll making a crack shot, dude.
It
like
was number 5
right, yeah, totally for
What's that?
from the Umbrella
Academy.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yep. I mean, dude, sure. Yep. The redacted documents do say that. It's weird. So Turns out, like, 90s punk and emo bands just have access to all the fucking weird shit. like Tom DeLonge has all the information about the UFOs, and then Gerard Way got all the information about JFK. They're just handing information to those guys, you know, like...
And then being like, no one will ever believe you, and walking away.
Right, totally.
Right. Maybe they were posed this hypothetical, basically, but they were given the information, and now they're trying to, like, tell everyone, and no one believes them.
Yeah, like the singer of Linkin Park was about to expose the moon landing, and that's why he's dead.
Mr. Han.
Oh, shit. Wow.
Yeah, what do you think there, Matthew? You said you've got a couple on this.
Oh, yeah, all of mine are just about drugs and consciousness. Like,
oh, nice. I like this angle.
You know,
All right.
like, I'm just trying to, like, dig real deep on what's actually going on in our brains when we're high on psychedelics, you know? And, like, I have a ton of pet theories, but, like, none of it's been worked on enough, you know? Like, they've always been Schedule 1, or at least, you know, they were, after a very short period, they became Schedule 1 or whatever, and, like, no one could do any research. And so, like, it would just be really cool to do, like, some shit with, like, any number of things. Fucking telepathy, empathy, fucking, like, emotional fucking therapy, and, like, also, man, like, I've been able to fucking pull some really fucking weird moves on psychedelics with, like, putting thoughts together and, like, juggling different spheres of thought and fucking connecting things. And
for sure,
it would be really cool to be able to just, like, fucking track that somehow, you know?
Yeah, I've even had a couple physical feats that I didn't know were possible.
Absolutely, yeah. Like, acid strength is a fucking thing, man.
Yeah,
like,
That's loud.
Mushroom agility,
right? Yes, 100%. And so, like, you know, I'm like, I don't really want to break down, like, all of the experiments that I want to try, but, like, I really want to fucking prove to the world, like, what psychedelics are doing to our brains, and that it's pretty cool shit.
Dude, and what if it is even further than that, of just, like, not something that we might even be able to prove in our limited science, but in the scope of this hypothetical, you get all of the information. So, like, it's always stuck with me the theory that like, psychedelic mushrooms are, like, we're sent here via spores, like, through outer space.
Oh, the panspermia theory?
From, like, and then it's, like, intelligent alien shit that, like, we only understand when we,
big
like,
fan of that
take
theory.
it in. So it's just, like, so if that's true, and, like, you were able to prove that somehow, can you imagine what that does for
spores
all
are
of
alien
humankind?
communication?
Fuck it. Like, if we're gonna pick one, panspermia. I'll prove that one.
Yeah,
Like,
beautiful.
but
Can you imagine?
For folks who don't know, spell that out a little bit.
PAN.
No. Spell out the idea.
SPERMIA. Anyway, so it's a theory that well, so first of all, mushroom spores are lighter than air, or maybe not just lighter than air. Shit, they're really light.
Right.
So light that they can be blown up into the upper atmosphere, and once they leave the atmosphere, they are the right color that they can get pushed by photons in space.
Right.
And they also don't necessarily need oxygen to survive, right?
Oh, absolutely
so, like,
not.
Right, and we know they can survive in
They're
space.
they're inert essentially. They're almost like a just a piece of genetic code. You know, like they're even simpler than a seed. You know, but
So, like, they don't even go dormant until they, like, go somewhere. They're literally small, like, more simple than that.
yeah, they're
even.
just in stasis essentially. So
Yeah.
like the vacuum does literal nothing to them, and they can get pushed by photons. So the theory goes, and I think this is even, like, proven, that there is a cloud of mushroom spores
Too much Elden Ring.
surrounding the upper atmosphere, and they don't burn up in reentry because they're so light. They just drift down.
Right,
and
they
so
just move between the
The theory goes that we could have mushroom spores on our planet that are from another solar system, or even
Seems
further
likely.
out. You know, like that they could be capable of spores could be capable of moving through interstellar space.
right.
It's just
And that's
so dope.
fucking awesome.
Which, and if you consider the idea that you can encode information onto genetic material, and we already know that we can do that because 20 years ago they made bacteria that could solve problems by encoding information, like just like you would a computer. They encoded
Yeah.
programming into bacteria
Yep.
to like solve like navigational problems.
It was sloppy and low output, but it worked.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, totally.
But they've even refined biocomputing since then. you
Right,
know?
totally.
But yeah, like it's literally just code.
Yeah, so I love that idea and have always subscribed to it because, like imagine you just encode information onto spores, ship that out into space, and then wherever it lands, whatever ingests those, like receives that information, and then that's what
Right.
taking mushrooms is all about.
And if you've read or listened to Terrence McKenna, like
Right.
you know, he suggests that psilocybin mushrooms could have had an effect on our brains when we were developing language centers.
Right,
You know?
totally. Yeah, because that, and then it contributes to the whole like missing link thing of just
Exactly.
like, well, here's how we
exactly.
got there.
Yep. And having eaten a lot of mushrooms, I could see how that would be.
Sure, totally.
Yeah, I've created a language or two on mushrooms.
Yeah.
I might have spoken in tongues a time or two.
Well, and that's where a lot of, what do they call it? Like ancient symbology or ancient,
Symbolism.
ancient symbolism. God, what do they call that? There's a phrase for it. You know what I mean? Like, that there's like certain, like fractals and certain,
fucking archetypes.
sure, yeah, totally. But that this stuff has shown up, in different locations around the planet, and
In the
like
same way.
in the
Yeah,
same way, and like
exactly.
people have found same things, and like they're receiving information through some other source that's
Yeah.
not just like verbal communication or
Morphic resonance.
there you go, morphic resonance. That's kind of what I was getting at.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Rupert Sheldrake.
I
Good
like
shit.
that. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. What about you, Shelby?
I had a few. Jean Bonnet's brother killed her.
Oh!
Yeah, we all know it at this point.
That.
Yeah.
We all know it, but if I could fucking prove it, I fucking would. And
Yeah.
if
Hot
only
sauce right there.
because, he was a kid at the time.
Right.
It was probably an accident.
Right.
And it
I guess he had a mean streak though.
Well,
Yeah,
even
but,
if
like-
he was mad, it was probably still an accident that he killed
I don't-
her.
Probably.
You
I don't
know?
think-
Like, it probably... Even if he was mad at the time. Like,
What was
he probably
he,
didn't
like,
intend to actually that.
13, 12,
I think younger than that. I think he was like 8 or 9.
he wasn't.
I thought he was like 11 or 12.
I
but
thought 12.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
But
well,
not
still,
old enough
like,
to
you're
have,
still a child when
Yeah.
you're 12. Like, shit.
For sure.
definitely not old
Absolutely.
enough to have a good concept of consequences. Like, I have a feeling he probably pushed her, or
Consequences, or even just
mortality.
and just like that you... I mean, when I was a kid, I definitely don't think I thought myself capable of killing another person.
Sure.
No.
Like, I'm a kid.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
nothing that I do could ever have a great enough consequence to kill another person.
Right.
Like, the fact that, like, I could even pull that off, and obviously I never, like, wanted to, but the fact that, like, I could even technically do it as just, like, a physical person in the world,
Yeah.
I had no concept of that at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I could prove that, I would. Only because I am so fucking tired of people, dragging this little girl's, memory through the fucking
Right.
ringer every
Yeah.
other year. Every other year. There's,
There's, like,
yeah.
a new documentary
there's
out
some
about it.
fucking
Yeah.
Dateline special about, new evidence in the Jean Benet Ramsey case.
Don't they
And
always
there-
try to say it's the parents, too?
There's never any
Almost
new
every
evidence.
time, yeah.
Yeah.
Rich people are shitty, but her dad probably wasn't running an underground pedophile ring and pimping out his underage
No,
daughter.
that seems
Like,
pretty
That's some
unlikely.
QAnon shit.
can we not? Can we not? Can we just let this child lie and
Yeah.
Right.
just if it's not her brother, I'm convinced it's her brother. If it's not her brother, if the universe gave me the answer to that and the evidence, I would immediately be like,
Yeah.
hey, this is it. Can we fucking stop now? Can we stop? This
Yeah.
was sad, and you've stopped letting it be sad by turning into a fucking circus. Yeah. So that was my big one. I had a couple others, but I'm distracted by a puppy who I'm entertaining, so he doesn't cause a ruckus.
Yeah. Not a Winnie this time.
Not a Winnie. It is a Milo.
Yep.
I think Jack the Ripper was 2 people.
Ooh.
That's
That's
fine.
spicy.
I think Jack the Ripper was either.
That's so long ago. Like we'll
Never
never
know.
know.
We'll
Yeah.
never
Exactly.
know. I think it was 2 people. I don't think it was one deranged person. I think it was probably 2 people or a gang of kids. That's what I think.
Yeah,
I think it
interesting.
The Rippers.
was Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, Jack the Ripper.
Couple of Jacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or yeah, Jack's the Ripper. Yeah.
Yeah, Jack's the Rippers.
I think that was the first true crime story that I became obsessed with.
I think that's what everyone's like first weird because it's far enough
Yeah.
removed and it's still like it is still objectively horrifying. Like
Oh, fucking absolutely.
Yeah.
that was some dark shit. Like
The fucking police drawings from back then, like, are
yeah,
horrifying.
like and the reason
Well, and knowing
I
that they
think-
can't like they don't have the tools like they do now to like even track like killers
No.
and like
Not
even
even, like,
now it
old
turns out
DNA
they
evidence.
still don't have like super great tools like better.
yeah.
But back
No.
then it was just like you could actually get away with all sorts of shit. It's just like don't directly get caught.
Yeah.
And don't leave anything
literally get
obvious
caught
and
at
it's
the
like
scene of the
that's
crime.
it.
That's
like
it.
that's
yeah,
it.
the technology was literally gloves. You
Yeah.
know? Like,
It was like, oh, this was his hat. It's like,
Yeah.
well, if he didn't leave his hat there, then like we have no way to know.
Yeah.
yeah.
My like kind of fun one was I'm pretty sure ghosts are real. Like I'm
Oh.
Hoping this would come up.
Yeah! Oh man, I am jealous that you brought that up. I'm on that one too.
pretty sure ghosts are real, and I'm also pretty sure there's some like weird nature spirits out there. Can't prove
Oh.
it, but I'm
Like
pretty
Kodama kind of shit?
like
Or like a Fey world.
like a Fey like big. I think Bigfoot's a spirit. I don't think Bigfoot is a literal giant ape. I think Bigfoot is a like forest spirit, and
Okay.
that's why he's not really there. Like he's in between planes of
Like
existence.
multi-dimensional
Yeah,
sort of shit going on.
Like
yeah.
sometimes,
Like an avatar of
like
the-
sometimes
of the
he's in
forest.
our realm and leaves footprints, and then when you go to find him, he's not there anymore. Like he's physically not there
Yeah.
anymore. Like
So-
I don't think that he's like. I think there's some weird shit happening spiritually.
I've always speculated on like dimensional bleed over, and that's kind of
Yes.
what ghosts are. I don't
That's-
think that they're literally like the souls or spirits of people, because
I'm kinda
I'm
there,
not even
too.
really that sure about souls or
But
spirits.
if you believe that it's a dimensional bleed over, then you do think that there's an afterlife.
But kind of like the the figures you see in like Dark Souls, just a little
Or,
little
like-
glimpse into like someone else's timeline that
Oh,
just sort
so
of
you-
popped into yours for
Well,
a
but
second.
what
you know,
if it is
That's cute.
what if it is like from history though? What if it is like
Sure.
from the past? Do you
Could
you
be.
still just think that like the timelines they're not linear? They're like
Right.
Yeah,
concentric circles that are just like kind
that's
of like running
where
into
I'm
each
at
other's
sometimes.
Sure.
Okay.
That's kind of where I'm at sometimes too, because
yeah,
I
the
think,
tubes crash into each other
I
for
think
just a
that
split
there's-
second.
I've experienced timeline bleed on enough drugs.
I mean, I think that there are like times when when things get thin and wibbly wobbly and like weird,
Wibbly
right?
wobbly, timey
And
wimey.
like
Yep.
I think sometimes
A thinny.
there's like exactly, it's like a thinny, right? Sometimes like you're seeing into like the past, or they're seeing into your future. Like
This is what I'm
sometimes I
talking
think
about.
we're kind of
I've experienced
ghosts
this.
to other
Oh, we could be
people in
ghosts
other
to
timelines.
to other dimensions.
I have
yeah.
also had like some personal experience where it felt like I was dealing with something that was being like intentionally malicious, and so like I think that there's just if I could prove it, I would. I'd be like, you know what? Yeah, let's. Also, because like then bullshit psychics would be very easily called out.
Yeah,
like,
I'd
here's,
like that.
Here's the actual real science
Yeah.
and what we can prove.
But then, like, maybe
And-
people do have an affinity to sort of like be in touch with those.
I think some people
dimensional
do.
collisions.
I
you
think
know?
some people do, but I think like the celebrity psychics
Oh,
that
of
are like
course, yeah.
fully just grifting people.
Oh, yeah.
Like I would love to see those people be taken
Absolutely.
so
Yes.
like completely down. And like if it was proven within a reasonable amount to be real, then like you could point at the people who were fake and just making money
Right.
off of grieving people.
Well, and I would love the proof, because I don't believe in ghosts, like spirits and souls, but I also can't discount the just overwhelming anecdotal evidence out there, like
Something's
millions
going
and
on.
millions
Yeah.
of people over so long in history have experienced something paranormal and something supernatural, and I believe them. I believe they experienced that, but
And it
what
can't
it
always
is.
be drugs, right?
Well, it can't always be drugs or mental illness
sleepiness
or
whatever. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I'm convinced the house that my mom lived in after she moved out of my dad, like when my parents got divorced, the house she moved into, I'm convinced that house was haunted.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a little kid who was afraid of ghosts. Like, I watched a lot of, like, you know, remember in, like, the 90s when, like, Discovery Channel had all those ghost shows that were on, like, A Haunting was on all the time. I loved those shows, but I was
all
never...
that was on Upper
That's
King
all
in
that
the
was on.
90s. Yeah.
it was great.
But I was never like, this is definitely real. Like, I was always a fairly, like, skeptical little kid. I spent a lot of time by myself in houses. I spent a lot of time out in the woods. Like, I wasn't, like, afraid of shit.
right.
And then my mom moved into this house, and, like, shit happened that I just have no other way to explain. Like, it just weird shit happened. It was the first time I was, like, actively scared in a house frequently by stuff that I could not see or explain.
And other people have other stories that are crazy that it's just like, I believe you. Like, the way you
Yeah.
told this story, like, I don't think you were, like, stressed out, or I don't think, like, other circumstances were making you, like, delusional. I'm, like, seeing things.
Yeah.
Like, the way you put it, you were very level-headed at all. Like,
Well, and when I was
I don't know.
when I would talk to my mom about it, she would deny it at the time. And then after I moved out, when I was an adult, she was like, "Oh yeah, weird shit happened all the time, but I didn't want to make you more scared."
right?
Yeah.
It's like, that would have been so
Yeah.
shitty. As like,
That's
oh, so these are
hilarious.
ghosts, by the way, child.
Yeah.
No, I like this because Matthew and Shelby's your answers are almost similar in a way. That it's just like, I know in my heart of heart that there's something larger at play here, something larger at work
Yep.
that, like, we can't explain, and, like, there's really, it's very hard to study. It's very hard to, like, pin down what is going on. And
Yep.
so to be able to, like, get the facts on that and expose that for, like, what it really is would be incredible, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Would love to be able to define
Right.
some of these paranormal and supernatural things
Well,
that happen.
So one thing that I thought of, like, coming off of this, that I was going to make my new thing, but then I might walk it back, is fucking what I've learned about skinwalkers as a thing, as just like a, like, mysterious fucking
Shit's weird.
like
Shapeshifters. Shape-shifting warlocks.
yeah, so I was going to pick that as the new thing, but as I started thinking about it, I was like, oh, so the idea is to have proof to expose this thing, and some of that shit is such dark
You leave that shit
shit
alone.
But yeah, I think you leave it alone. Yeah, I was like, oh no, I'm not gonna be the guy that exposes skinwalkers, you know? Like, whoa.
Seek the treasure.
Yeah, exactly. Like, curse on anyone who loves me for 1,000 years, probably, right?
Listen,
So, like, yeah.
there is a reason that there are certain rules.
Yeah.
Like, don't whistle at night.
Yeah, you know, and it's like, you know what? Actually, I don't need to know.
If
I'm
you-
actually like, I
If
don't.
you hear
I
your
don't want
name
to tell
called
everyone.
in the woods, no, you didn't.
Yeah, right.
You turn around, you walk away.
Don't watch a dog taking a shit.
Don't
No,
let
that's
the dog
lucky.
taking a
Never, ever.
shit.
No, you get a sty in your eye.
What?
That's
That's
apparently.
an old wives' tale.
I didn't hear that one because back in Fort Collins around my friends, if you saw a dog taking a shit, it was a lucky thing for you. Maybe frame your references different, everyone, and you'll have a better outlook on life.
That's my answer.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna expose the truth on that.
I love it. So, what I would like to say, just about paranormal and psychedelic stuff in general, is that I've always had the stance that if you experienced it, it happened to you.
Yes.
Right.
100%,
Like,
right?
whether you can explain it or not, whether you think it was in your head or not,
Sure.
that was something that you experienced.
If it's real enough to feel real, it's real.
Therefore it happened.
Yeah, because then you get into the whole, like, what even is reality?
Right.
And so,
And-
like, yeah.
Right.
and so like that's my stance on that. And like the only thing that has really tempered any of my like enthusiasm for the paranormal is James Randi.
Yeah.
He for decades now has offered a multi-million-dollar prize that's matched by other organizations if anyone can offer unequivocal proof of anything paranormal.
For folks that don't know, he's like the legendary, like, skeptic debunker guy, right?
Yeah.
And also a fantastic close-up magician.
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
Right.
The
Yes.
amazing Randy. But yeah, like
Great name.
Right. And like the whole reason that he started this is because like he's a fucking really skilled magician and like can see through flim flam almost instantly, but like wants to believe.
Right.
And
we
so,
all want to believe.
Right. And
Yeah.
so he's like, no, I think that there's something more than this too. I want someone to bring forth proof because like
Right.
I fucking want to show it to the world. And so like started offering a fucking bounty and like kept increasing it and increasing it and increasing it. And
This is what I would do if I had like $1 billion.
It's like
I'd start making fucking ghost bounties, dude.
I'm just a Scully who wishes I was a Mulder.
Yeah.
you know?
right? And like they've got very like organized plans for like how you can prove things and like no one's fucking done
Right.
it, man.
Yep.
Like
And
no-
this is
barely
the
anyone even
problem.
tries. You
Yeah,
know?
this
Like,
is the problem. It's like we have all of this technology, millions of accounts of sightings and experiences, and yet fucking nothing.
I also
Yeah.
think that part of that is because there's this entire industry around like hunting the paranormal, quote unquote, that relies on there not being proof. It relies
Exactly.
on there not being evidence because that's really good. Oh my gosh. We know. He's allowed.
Hey, what's up, dude?
Hey.
It's cool. I remember the last thing Shelby said, so we can I'll get a cut in there, and then we'll just wrap this
Yeah,
up.
we should wrap it up for sure.
Yeah, no,
But this is
fine,
good.
come
This
on
is
in.
really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went a little later than we anticipated, but
Last question ended up being really good.
Discussions.
hey, can you
down.
stop?
Get
Hey,
down.
So
Up.
we did it.
Down.
Up, down.
All around.
Wait, what was the last thing
Chill
you
out.
said?
Oh, there's Raya. We know.
Yeah, we'll wait a second.
Quit. Can you just
Chill out.
You know this person. Can you please stop? Yeah, see?
Clunk.
Yeah, get the smells. Look, see? Oh, hey, it's somebody you know. Oh my gosh.
Hey, it's definitely not a serial killer.
Right? Holy cow. Are you good? Are you good? Can you be good now? Milo's like, I'm not good.
Right.
Milo's like, everyone's my best friend.
So
But yeah.
all dog barking aside,
What I was saying was that I think part of the reason why we don't see people making like a concerted effort into finding like literal scientific proof about the paranormal is because the entire industry surrounding it relies on grifters. Like
Yeah.
all the money is in people who are making up bullshit. Like it's all
Charlatans.
charlatans,
Yeah.
right? And it's been that way for forever. Like it's been that way since the spiritual movement in like what the 20s with Houdini.
Sure.
oh yeah,
Like
absolutely,
Well, and there's
mesmerism,
sort of-
all that shit. Yeah.
And there's sort of just like a fun in the unknown, because like
right.
the Navy literally told us there's UFOs about 3 years ago, and like no one cares. They're just
like,
like,
yeah, we know.
we
Yeah,
figured.
we
We're still in the
figured
middle of a pandemic.
it makes sense.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, we all figured. So, and now that we know, everyone's just like, yeah, but like, what did Trump tweet today? You know, or like whatever. It's just like, okay.
And I feel like part of the reason why I feel like if I personally would like to know.
Yeah.
And like the question was like if you would expose it to the world, like I would, no one would care. Like
Right.
I feel like if any one of the four of us were like, here's concrete full proof, here's a fucking 200-page dissertation with evidence scientifically sourced about like proof that all this shit is real, right? No one would give a shit. Like they'd still watch Ghost Adventures and be like,
Yeah.
"Ooh, the EVPs!" Like you know, like.
If it doesn't sell ads and fucking, then you can go.
But
fuck
I
yourself,
would
you
still know,
like-
and I'd be
Right.
like,
No, that'd be sweet.
"I know this shit."
right? I'm here for that.
All right, so my actual answer, the JFK aside, my actual answer, I think, is I know in my heart of hearts that God isn't real. And I'd like to just fucking prove that to everyone. So we
it.
could just
Get it.
fucking move past this whole religious everything,
So
dude.
I think it's
and
a-
just like start the next phase of
I love
fucking
that.
humanity.
Oh god,
I
we
think
can
it's
even add this to the
interesting
other. Sorry, we
Yeah.
can add this to the other question where it's like, fucking everyone doesn't need God, but they can have him if they want.
Yeah, right.
Sure.
Yeah.
If you still want him, that's fine. But
Yeah.
but like unequivocally proven, it's not there. He's not there. Yeah,
Exactly.
it's
Right.
not a fucking thing.
And this is exactly what I was thinking about when you were even talking about the I believe you when you say you had that experience. I'm not saying that it was wrong, because it's like, in my hardest of hearts, that's how we got the 10 Commandments. Like,
Fuck yeah, exactly.
People ate shit that made them trip. I believe that they saw angels. Like, I believe that happened to them.
Yeah.
And they told them shit. And, like, it turned out that some of it aligned with things like, don't murder people. And it was like,
yeah,
I believe that God told you that, because that sounds totally like a thing God would tell us.
Which also is like hilarious,
right?
And it's just like, I really think that like so much of religion is based off of people tripping their balls off and actually seeing God. But like,
Book of Revelation.
But I don't know that it's God.
All
so
that
like,
stuff's so low hanging fruit too. Don't murder people. Like, whoa, what a fucking novel concept.
Exactly.
It's fucking morality. Wow.
Moses was on some good shrooms that day.
Yeah, dude. What if we just didn't murder people?
Yeah, I mean, like,
Isn't that a Bo Burnham quote where he's got this song from the perspective of God, and it's like, didn't realize I had to spell that one out for you.
yeah. But here we are. Yeah.
oh man.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I agree. Just like fucking just proof of just like, hey man, like they probably like thought they talked all sorts of crazy things. Like,
yeah, and you believe what you want, but like, here it is.
it's like, have you ever seen a biblically accurate angel? It looks like a fucking mushroom trip. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
like that's exactly what was happening, you guys.
1,000
like,
eyes and multiple wings.
and just
Right.
like wheels, just like with wings
Yeah.
on
Wheels
them,
and fire.
and they're horrifying.
and they have to
dude,
tell
that
you
was
to
a
be
bad
not afraid
mushroom
because
trip,
they're
is what
terrifying.
happened.
Yeah.
They
Hell
can
yeah.
think you dead on the spot. Like,
Yeah.
So it just feels like we just need a few other pieces to the puzzle to prove that one. And like, it feels
I
like
agree.
it would be useful.
Oh man, I feel like we could actually like go on this for hours.
We should maybe pick questions kind of like this on the next one, because this was fun.
Yeah.
This is like, what is just some goofy weird shit that
Yeah.
you just fucking know?
Yeah, what do you believe?
Right?
Yeah. Right on.
Good stuff.
Well, this is awesome, you guys. We'll do it again soon. Thanks everyone for listening.
Thank you.